I'm a gun-toting patriot, God-fearing patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting, Bible reading, God believing, truth speaking, American. This MAGA season, Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. This for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership. They free General Flint out the cage, cause he innocent. Barton Roger Stone, cause the world know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws we need to implement. Tell Justin Smollett that I know this MAGA country. Tell China we know they.
Hello, everybody. Oh my God, the chat is already on fire. I am going to bring up Jimmy in just 1 second. I just wanted to give everybody a quick intro. Just like you saw in the beginning of the video, I describe how if you are not, an ex-Jehovah's Witness or don't know about Jehovah's Witnesses, this is really new for us. We are not used to talking about politics. So I just ask that all of us be respectful in the comments, and I might open up the stream for other people to join. If you want to join and talk with us, me and Jimmy, or Jimmy and I. And then I do want to give Jimmy some time first to describe his journey to politics and stuff like that. And so, yeah. All right. So let's bring Jimmy.
Hey, good evening, Ruby.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Going?
Oh, I am burning up here in North Carolina right now. I'm outside. Welcome to the cage. This is where I do most of my work.
Oh my goodness. We have Joe and Fran in the chat. These are like
Awesome.
my grandparents. I love them.
Yeah, I got to meet them in person when they came down through North Carolina about 2 months ago. So it was cool meeting them. And so, hey, Joe and Fran, I can't see the chat, guys. So that's just the deal. I can't see it, but it's okay.
I am going to bring up every individual comment so we can say hi to everybody. So we have Beverly.
Oh, Bev.
Wild.
I know Wild. I know John. John's awesome.
Shaq.
Shark. I do know him. I think it's Shark Composer. And so,
okay.
Yeah.
M.A. Gordon. Hello.
Greetings, everyone.
Jay. Hi, Jay. Lisa. Okay, she might not be here for long, but she's glad. Well, thanks for coming, Lisa. We have Roger. Hello, Roger. Welcome.
Good evening.
Jeff. Beverly, and John. Okay, cool. So we're caught up on the comments.
Okay.
Listen, I am so excited to have you on here because literally wherever I go, I always say if it wasn't for this guy named Jimmy Bell on Twitter, I don't know what I would have done, because I was going through it in 2020. And I was such a closeted Christian, such a closeted Trump supporter. And you were the only one who said, Ruby, there are others like us that exist.
Yes.
Okay. And that was the introduction. So I want to thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Being outspoken.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Yes. Okay. So, this is the very first time that I do speak with you. So I don't know your story. I don't know much.
Okay.
But if you do want to keep it, just on topic, I guess you could kind of give me your story along with your journey, because every time I bring somebody on here, I'm like, okay, we have the same background. So there's not much that's new. You know what I mean?
Right.
We know what happened. Okay. Basically we're not Jehovah's Witnesses anymore.
Correct.
But we were always born and raised to be politically neutral. We're not supposed to have an opinion. We're not supposed to even think about this kind of stuff. We're not supposed to vote. You can't register to vote. And I've even heard people that got reproved or DF for getting politically active.
That's true. Well, you want me to just start talking?
Yes. So tell me your XJW awakening / political journey, that you're not neutral anymore and you're not afraid to talk about your political views. So tell me, how did you do that? Because I was afraid, legit afraid to speak about politics. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, a little bit of my background. First off, my mom started studying with Jehovah's Witnesses when I was 6 years old, but my dad was also in the military. So imagine being brought up in a home with military stuff. Yes, sir. No, sir. All that. And then the Watchtower stuff. So I was very, I guess you could say, analytical on things. Everything had always to be in order, had to always be. And I'll go ahead and preface this tonight before I continue talking. I went to the dentist yesterday and I had a back molar removed. So if I mess up my words tonight, that's why, because I got some cotton in my mouth. So anyway, so anyway, I was in Watchtower 40 years. I got DF'd in 94, got reinstated in 97. Then I basically went inactive from 98 to 2011, which that was probably the best thing for me. But then in 2011, had some stuff happen in my life to where I'm like, oh my God, why does everything keep going the way it is with me? That's because I don't have Jehovah in my life. Right. So I went back to the meetings in 2011 and it was weird. It was very different than what it was when I was growing up. And I guess you could say the heydays of Watchtower in the late 80s and early 90s, my opinion. And, so it was just things that they were saying didn't make sense to me. But I was like, you know what, Jimmy, it's been a while. You haven't been in the meetings. You haven't been trusting Jehovah. So just go ahead and let it play out. So from 2011 to 2018, I went to the meetings. I didn't go out. I think I went out in service like twice. They wanted me to get on the school, so I got on the school and still wasn't going out in service. Like I said, I only went out twice. And they wanted me to reach out and be a ministerial servant and eventually become an elder. And that just wasn't for me. I just knew it wasn't for me. Now, it was back in the day in my pioneer years when I got accepted to Bethel and all this other stuff that happened. I really wanted to be a ministerial servant. I wanted to be an elder. Hell, when I got my letter from Bethel, I was ready to go to Bethel, but I had a car that I could not sell. So we all know you can't have no debt if you go to Bethel. So I had to write a letter to Watchtower declining the invitation. And so I didn't get to go to Bethel, which was probably a blessing in disguise.
I was just about to say that.
Because if I would have gone all out. I was totally JW, by the book, everything. Hell, there would probably have been apostates making videos about me doing stuff on JW Broadcasting right now. No lie. I mean, seriously. So instead of instead of bashing me for that, I get bashed for my political leanings, but we'll save that a little bit later. So either way I went, I was screwed.
But you're yourself still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you seem like even if you were a Jehovah's Witness, I think you would have still been Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like you're not the mold of like you're supposed to be this way or you're still you.
And see, that's the thing, because my dad taught me part of the military training is, to have a good unit, you need to be a good individual. And if you have a group of individuals that are good individuals, you're going to have a good unit. And so I always prided myself in being open with my beliefs. And I did that with Watchtower, and I'm doing it now. And just to respect people and do it in a way that is loving, so to speak. Right. And I have always said, ever since I went down this political route, that I'm willing to have a debate with anyone as long as the conversation remains mutually respectful. You don't gaslight me. You don't call me names. You don't just run off on MSM talking points. Let's stick to the facts and let's have a good conversation. And I've been able to do that with many, many people in the last 4 years. And honestly, I've learned that one thing about being a witness, when you were at the door, and I'll get back to what I learned, was when you were at the door, you were always prepared to answer back to whatever they said.
Yep.
Reasoning book. All right. Ministry school. So you always had an answer for everything, or always had a comeback for everything. And so that would cause someone not to really listen to what a person is saying.
Right.
And so in this journey on the political side of things, and especially talking with my best friend, John, XJW Analyzer, I learned to listen to what he's saying and why he's saying it. And with the information he gives me, process that, not with some canned response, process that, and then form my opinion about what he just said. And me and him, you know, at the beginning, we were kind of far apart, we thought, on things. We disagreed on a lot of stuff. We disagreed on Trump. We disagreed on the Constitution. But what we did was we figured out, okay, what do we have in common? Do we like government telling us what to do? No, we don't like that. Do we want prosperity for our families? Yes, we both want that. And so we built our relationship around things that we agreed upon, so that when it came to the point to where we disagreed on things, we had that respect for one another to where we could have an adult conversation.
Right.
So that's
the formula of a good friendship, I think, because it could be about anything, not just politics. And that's the formula of a really good friendship, that you can actually have somebody else to have those conversations with. And I think that's where I lack. So I'm glad that you're discussing this with me, because it's like, this is educational even for me, like even, teaching myself, listening to you and to other older people that have actually done this and implemented it. I'm also learning how to do that with other people. And that's why I created this space, is so that this can happen, with anybody, not just Extra Jehovah's Witnesses. But since we don't know how to do what you just said, like, that's so hard, because we don't, like you said, we're just talking to people to respond. We're just listening to give the script response of whatever comes out of the book, the reasoning book or whatever. And we don't know how to do that, form our own opinions, and then, like verbalize that respectfully, because it can get like argumentative or aggressive. And it's really hard to do that. So I'm thankful that you've kind of mastered that, and you can describe it for us and the audience too, because our community needs this, and I don't see it. Like, unfortunately, I don't really see it that often. So that's why I'm doing this like every Tuesday, so that at least we can have some type of discussion about politics and growing out of our comfort zones and listening to different opinions that are not our own, because you don't want to be in that echo chamber. And I know that I always like share stuff on Twitter, and I see you like we're at the same thing. We're like Trump. But sometimes we have to listen to the other side. So this is why I did that. So
I want to preface my next comment with this first. One of the things that I have to do in my career, I'm an insurance salesman. All right. And what I have to do is I have to meet different kinds of people every day. I mean, I meet all types of people every day. And you think about when you go to the car dealership, how many different types of guys and gals do you see there? When you go to a restaurant, how many different types of people do you see working at that restaurant? My job is to get these people, all of them, to trust me, so they'll buy insurance from me so I can make a living.
Right.
So I've had to force myself, which wasn't that hard, but with a little bit of reading on some other sales stuff and everything, I was able to mold my presentation in a way that would fit everybody. And the way I did it was ask questions.
There you
You
go.
know, I would be like, how many people are in your family? Oh, really? Has anyone ever had cancer in your family? Have you ever had an accident before? Oh, what would you do if you couldn't work for a month? How would you pay your bills? Those
Mhm.
are general questions fit for everybody.
Mhm.
So when I'm able to present a solution to those questions or those answers that they give me, they're going to be like, hell yeah, I'm going to buy some insurance from Jimmy.
Yeah.
And they do it. I'll probably sell about 70 to 80% of the customers I see.
Wow.
And I've had customers that have been with me for over 25 years.
Wow.
So I had to learn how to accept everybody and not prejudge people. I mean,
Right.
I went into a house one time. Okay, y'all know when we're out in service, we see all these different houses and everything. This just
Mhm.
all right. I talk in present, so sometimes I might go on a tangent. But anyway, when I
Mhm.
was first selling insurance door to door back in the late 90s, I went up to
Mhm.
this house that had broken shutters. The concrete walk was all tore up. There were wooden steps, and there was a second step missing. The
Mhm.
door didn't have a, I mean, I'm out in the boonies of Robinson County in North Carolina. I go in, or I knock on the door, the guy comes to the door, tell him what I was doing. He says, yeah, come on in. I go in and sit down on his raggedy couch, and I can see the crawl space through the living room floor. This place was run down. Now, you might be thinking, wow, you're going to try to sell insurance in here? How are you going to get
Mhm.
anybody out of these people? So I was like, well, let me just see what I got. So I gave the presentation, talked to the guy about cancer. He had his mom died of cancer, his brother died of cancer. Um, Several members in his family dealt with cancer. And then when I got to the end, and before I asked my closing question, he said, Jimmy, how much is that? And I
Wow.
told him, I said, well, I said, what's your age? Blah, blah, blah. Figured it
Mhm.
up. And it was going to be like $981 a year, you know,
Mhm.
and whatever it was monthly. And I said, you can do it on a monthly basis, blah, 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 blah. He's like, you know what? I'm going to pay cash for it. So he went to his daggone bread box, pulled out $1,000, gave it to me, and I wrote his contract, and a sale was made. And,
Wow.
and I'm like, so by not judging him and his situation right off
Right.
and just trying to get out of there, I would have lost the sale if I would have done that.
Right.
So when I'm speaking to people, I'm
Mhm.
trying to use the same tactics I use in my sales by just asking questions, getting their opinion on things, and seeing, okay, well, how can this certain plan help you? You know, is it the
Mhm.
Trump plan? Let's look at the features of the plan
Mhm.
versus let's look at the features of Biden's plan. Now you tell me,
Mhm.
take the effing names away from it and go through the
Right.
list and tell me which coverage you would like to have the most.
Mhm.
That's how I do it.
Right.
And then when I started finding, and I had this happen this weekend, there was a lefty XJW who wanted to argue with me. And then the first thing he said to me, and I've heard that, oh, you're still in a cult. Oh, you mean the one that makes me think for myself? Oh yeah, that's the one. You know,
Yo,
but
I cannot tell you how many times people have told me that I left one cult for another.
Ruby, that is their first go-to response out of their little reasoning book.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, and I told you tonight, I'm just going to go no holds barred. I don't care. I'm just going
Yeah.
to speak bluntly. But that is a go-to response, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't have that opinion if only 2 or 3 of them did it to me.
Right.
But I've had hundreds say,
Yeah.
"Dude, you're in a
And
cult. You
it's
left one cult for another."
and it's
So,
shocking because I'm getting those comments from the XJW community, unfortunately.
yes,
And it's not, and
yes,
it's like I would expect that from somebody else, like a random person. But to see that comment associated with somebody who I was like looking up to or watching their YouTube videos, and like I was communicating during that time about just like other things, but the moment I posted something that was contrary to the narrative, oh, you left one cult for another. And I was truly offended by that. But I think that was the motivation for me to do this in the future, because I was always thinking, I can't be a Twitter keyboard warrior. I need to do it like this. Like, you need to see the emotion,
Right.
the passion, the conversation that needs to be had, and not just always typing it out and like talking to bots. You know what I mean? Like, this is real people. You're real. I'm real. The chat is real. And then you can see how, yeah, that was hurtful and offensive, but guess what? It made me stronger, and it motivated me to be like, oh, is that what you think? Well, I'm going to show you how much research I've done. I'm going to show you that I wasn't indoctrinated to support this politician just because they said nice words or nice things, or because somebody told me to do it. And
Correct.
like, that should be appreciated and applauded in this community, especially because we come from something that told us, you're going to listen to whatever the governing body said, and that's it. It's like, you're going to vote for whoever we say, and that's it. And I'm sorry, but that's not how it goes. You have to vote for the person that you do the research for, and that mirrors your values to the best of their ability, because nobody's perfect. No political party is perfect. Like, if it was up to me, I would not want to be a registered Republican, but I have to, because we have closed primaries. And if I want to vote for the nominee, Trump or whoever, I have to be a part of that party. So it kind of sucks, but I don't identify as a Republican.
I get you.
And I know that you see other things like that too.
Yeah, I get you on that. And let's put a pin in that particular part of the conversation, because I can come back and speak to that once we get into more political stuff. we just set in the framework right now. But going to your point about being attacked by those in the XJW community, when I first came on the scene, and me and John and Diasis, and we did the roundtable, and we're speaking out against Watchtower, we're exposing Watchtower, we're exposing elders and circuit overseers on video.
Yeah.
And you would have thought that we were the biggest thing on the block the summer of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody would send us messages saying, you guys are awesome, you guys are doing great, blah, 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 blah. And then that was in 2019, let's say August. Then 6 months later, March of 2020, when I flipped the script, oh my God, I was hated by these people that loved me for exposing Watchtower.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you, in my life, I have never been stabbed in the back more than from the XJW community, members of the XJW community.
Ooh. Yep.
I was never stabbed in the back this many times as a Jehovah's Witness. And that is the God honest truth. So I've gotten to a point now to where I'm going to express my opinion. I'm going to back it up with facts and data and evidence. And the things that I'm not sure of, I will tell you that it's my opinion or I'm speculating, but this is the pattern that I see. I don't care anymore.
Right.
Because people need to wake the F up. Seriously.
Yeah.
And so once I started going down the political route, and I'll tell you why I did in a minute, but I learned all this stuff that was going on, and I was like, oh my God, the XJW community needs to know about this stuff. Because there's no one talking about it.
Right.
And so that's why, because I have love in my heart for the community and love in my heart for my fellow man, that I'm like, hey guys, y'all might want to look at this information right here. This is kind of mind-blowing. What do y'all think? Because I know that you don't have a political background in anything, so I'm trying to help you.
Right.
Here it is. And that's why I did it. That's why I put the big picture together and went on 6 screens and took time out of my schedule to try to help folks understand what's going on. And granted, yes, I have been able to help some people. You, others,
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. That's what I wanted to do. And so when I seen other right wing, let's just say right wing MAGA Republicans or whatever, speaking out in a chat thread on Facebook, and they're having a bunch of liberal XJWs attack them, I'm like, hey, I went in, grabbed that person, and said, hey, I've got this group that I've created where you can speak openly and freely without getting attacked. Here's the link. Because I wanted to give that person that was getting attacked their voice back. While the others were trying to silence that voice, I wanted to give their voice back. That's why I did what I did with bringing this information back to the XJW community. And so now it's gotten to a point that at this point, I really don't care if you like what I say or believe what I say. Go look it up. I'm not going to lie to you on purpose. I'm not going to try to give you disinformation because I want your Patreon membership. I've made zero money doing what I do the last 5 years. Zero. Only because I care.
Right. So. Right. No, I'm right there with you, because even when I was just like polling the idea, like, oh, I want to do this, like I was just polling to see the reaction of my subscribers or whatever. There was many people who privately told me, oh, don't go in that territory. You don't want to talk about politics. You don't want to really talk about religion. Your channel is like nice the way it is. Like what you're doing is amazing. Keep doing that. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm also going to do everything else. And I don't care if I get canceled. I don't care if this is an opinion that you don't want to hear or you don't like it. But I am also inviting the other side. I said, listen, this whole community on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. Even if you do have an opposing view or another opinion, then why don't you come on and discuss that? Because that's literally what we're supposed to do, right? We're not Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. So if we're doing the opposite, then this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to say, hey, how do you feel about this? What's your opinion on this? Because we've never used to ask those kind of questions.
Right.
And if you and that is what opens up other people's minds, because then you could actually ask those questions and say, well, why do you feel that way? Why do you support this protest or this march or this political party? Like, tell me why. Don't just say, oh, well, because that's racist or that's misogynistic. Like they always put those buzzwords. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not really telling me why. There's no reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. One thing that I've noticed when I'm speaking with folks in the XJW community is that are of the left-wing persuasion, I'll ask them a question, a point-blank question, and they will dodge the hell out of it. They will answer a question with a question, or they'll jump over to another scripture. You know what I'm saying? They're using that training from Watchtower. Oh, don't ask me that about Jesus, because it says over here in Isaiah. That's exactly what they do. Yeah. And so when I find ones that will actually stick to the subject matter and let's talk about this subject only,
right,
the conversation goes so much better.
Yeah.
And all I'm here to do is I'm not trying to convince you that what Jimmy Bell says is right and correct and the truth. I want you to dig for yourself.
Right.
Does a cult leader say that?
No.
So think about that, folks, when you're watching the media, when you're listening to other people that are just bringing up talking points that they've heard in the media. I get passionate about this because, man,
Me too. Me too. That's why I had to do this, because I'm like, well, with who else am I going to do this with? I might as well, if I have to do it by myself, I'll do it by myself. But then, you reached out to me, other people have reached out to me, and I'm getting all these people, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But I mean, if I didn't have anybody, I would be doing this by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I would still
well,
be
that's
doing this
good.
because I'm passionate about politics now. Like, all of a sudden, I'm so patriotic, and I'm like a constitutionalist, and like a free speech advocate, and like, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I feel like I have to talk to somebody about it. Like, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm Italian, so when stuff gets in my head, I've got to speak it out. I got to talk to somebody. And I have to use my hands. So,
Yep.
but
Yep.
what was I going to say? Oh God, I had a thought that I just had it and it just disappeared. Um, da, 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 da. Oh crap, I just forgot it. Hang on. Hmm. Sorry. Maybe it'll come
It's
back
a
to me.
live show. It's fine. It's live.
Yeah.
We're live, guys.
Yeah. I love doing the live chats because you get to see the raw emotion of a person. You get to see the real person. You don't get to see,
Right.
you'll see all the mess ups. It happens.
It's real. It's genuine.
Oh, I remember I was going to say, when I learned, and I've made the conclusion in my research and in my opinion, I have made the conclusion that the Watchtower organization is nothing but a propaganda arm of the deep state globalist.
Yeah.
I've made that conclusion, and I've done videos about that. So I'm not going to go into all the why do you think that, Jimmy? And, well, they have the same playbook. So once I realized that Watchtower is a small fish in this big ass information war that we're fighting right now, that's why I've taken most of my focus here lately onto the political side of things, the geopolitical side of things, because it's bigger than Watchtower.
Right.
And that's why I have a kind of a hard time when I listen to Six Screens or I listen to somebody else and they're still talking about, well, look what the Watchtower is doing. This and yes, Watchtower is making some great changes, and that stuff needs to be done because there are people waking up. There's a reason why that's happening. But for me, I'm kind of past that because I feel, in my opinion, that Watchtower has already fallen. You're just seeing the death throes of a dying organization right now. So, yeah. All right, your turn.
Okay, so I'll catch up on some of the comments. Javier says, it's fantastic what you do. People need to wake up. The men of the Watchtower Society lie and cheat and tell lies. I was in it for a long time myself, but I never got baptized.
Good.
I have always been critical of it about many things. What you do is absolutely great. It's about truth, and the truth must be told.
You know what? I got something to say about that comment. This is the reason why I'm so passionate about this. Because when I was in Watchtower for 40 freaking years, I thought I was doing the right thing by going door to door and convincing people that they should join Jehovah's organization so they can live forever in paradise, because I really care about people.
Right.
When I found out that they lied to me and I wasted all my time, that hurt.
Yep.
That hurt my soul. And so now I have the ability to do this on my own without any coercion from a governing body, or I can do this on my own, and I can go out there and help people the way I feel is the right way to do. And so, yeah, and we were lied to for so long. I just don't want to be lied to anymore. I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth about everything. Will I ever get the answers to everything? Probably not. But I've been down so many damn rabbit holes. I'm just like, whoa,
Oh, I want to ask you. I want to ask you because I was just
whoa.
about to tell you that I am a truth seeker. And when
Yes,
I found out that if the watchtower can lie to me that badly, is the government lying to me? Is my parents lying to me? Who else could be lying to me? Like it you crash like that because I'm like, oh
yes,
my God, your whole reality changes. And
yes,
I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the government. I don't trust like law enforcement, stuff like I was big like back the blue type of person, but then after COVID, when I saw what they were doing, I was like,
yes,
okay, it could become dangerous when the police are arresting you for free, speaking out or protesting or going in without a mask or whatever. Like they were really dragging people off the streets in New York City because I was over there for that time, and it was
right.
scary. It was scary, and then I was like, oh, hold up, I don't think I'm back to blue no more. Hold up a second, let me reevaluate this.
There's a
um
reason. There's a reason why all that was happening. So,
right.
but yeah, well,
You
continue.
wake up to certain things like that, and you say,
Yes,
oh no, they wouldn't do that, they wouldn't lock down, the government wouldn't do that, because you're still naive to the world. But once I woke up to the world and to the government, and then I started doing the same type of rabbit holes, like I couldn't sleep. Like I would
yes,
stare at the walls and I
yes,
couldn't sleep because I was like, is everything a lie or is
yes,
everything really happening? Because
yes,
it's like
yes.
sometimes you can't even tell sometimes. And then when the whole Epstein stuff happened, and I was in New York over there for that too, I was like, hold up a second, this can't be happening. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't even believe that. And then
right.
that was around the same time that we were finding out about the CSA stuff with the witnesses. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, hold up a second. You mean to tell me there's rings out here? There's human trafficking? Like I didn't even know that existed. Like
Right.
we're so like privileged as Americans, like just to be honest. We're so privileged in this country and with the freedoms that we have that we don't look this stuff up. We're living life, going to concerts, buying and selling stuff, you know what I mean? Like we're in our own worlds that we don't see that the rest of the world is on fire, and it's just in America that they want to make you feel like, oh, everything's fine, Barbie world, go to a Taylor Swift concert, be happy and everything. And I'm like, hold up a second, whoa. When I came out that Matrix, I was like, the rest of the world, like everything that was happening.
Go back to this. I was going to put a post out about this today, but I couldn't get my words together like I wanted to. But once you wake up to what's going on in the world, start looking back on little things that you just questioned in your past, but you brushed it aside. For example, why did George Bush, after the Twin Towers fell, tell people to go shopping? I
You know
found
what?
that I found that odd back then,
Right,
but
right,
I didn't make the connection back then.
right, right,
You know, we just had a terrorist attack, well, an inside job. That's a whole
right,
nother video.
right.
That's a whole nother video. But but we
Episode.
just had a major disaster in the United States, and the president of the United
Right.
States comes out and tells everybody, just go shopping, continue to shop. What the
Really?
what the So, and there's other, I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but there's just other little things I'm thought, like video games. I've always
Mm-hmm.
hated video games. I've never had a video game system.
Mm-hmm.
One, I can have an addictive personality. So I knew if I got a game,
Right.
I'd want to play it until I beat it. And
Right.
so I'm like, no, that's not good. I don't want to do that. Movies. I'm not a big movie person. I can't tell you the last time I actually went to the movie. Well, yeah, I can. Sound of Freedom. I saw that.
Right.
But I don't
Right.
go to the movies.
Right.
Why? Because in the 80s, when all the good movies were happening, I was a Jehovah's Witness, and I couldn't watch any of them.
That
So,
sucks. My God.
so somebody will say, Jimmy, did you see E.T.? No. Did you
Nope.
see Terminator? No, not when it
Nope.
came out like 15 years later when I was allowed to.
Exactly. Exactly.
So So I think I've avoided some of the manipulation, some of the brainwashing from the video games, from the movies. I didn't really pay attention to the news, so I wasn't immersing myself with their talking points, so that when the time came in 2020, I would think I was ready. And this is how I woke up. It was March of 2020. Plandemic has taken us. Yes, I said plandemic. And this is what woke me up. I was sitting there and I was like, why in the world is the media and all these corrupt, I didn't know they were corrupt at the time, all of these politicians, why are they attacking Trump? Every time I turn around, this has been happening for 4 effing years that they've been attacking this guy. Mind you, I had no clue what was going on in 2016 to 2020 in the world. I've caught up pretty quickly since then. But
yeah, definitely.
That's what woke me up, because they kept attacking this man and I wanted to know why. That's what woke me up, folk. And it's just like, I wish some of the folks that are PMEs or still in Watchtower would actually look at the governing body and say, well, why do you guys keep attacking these people you call apostates?
Exactly.
Maybe I might want to listen to what these guys are saying, because you're attacking them. So there's a reason why you're attacking them. I mean, if you liked what they were saying, you'd be supporting them. So apparently they're saying something you don't like. I wonder what it is. That's what woke me up.
Wow. So that's pretty recent though, right? Like that's 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'll go ahead and make this statement, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, or they're willing to challenge me. I don't care. But I feel like I have done so much research from March of 2020 till now. I feel like I've done way more research than anybody's done within that period of time.
Yeah.
And I keep going every day. I spend, thank goodness I'm self-employed, but I would hate to know the number of hours that I've spent researching and looking at different things. And you can't do that amount of time researching if you're just watching the media.
Yeah. No, and all the distractions of life, movies, like everything that you just described. Everybody is over there having fun and they're not paying attention to what's happening right in front of them. They're like all of the problems that are happening, but they're willing to protest for a different country and fly a different flag when your own country is in flames and getting invaded at the southern border. And it's like you're oblivious to that, but you're so concerned with the human rights or the genocides happening around the world, and you don't even see what's happening in your own backyard.
Correct. America is let me put this a nice way. America is the most brainwashed nation on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
And it had to be this way. That's what they wanted to. That's what the deep state, the Illuminati, the globalists, that's what they needed to happen to America, because they knew America was very strong in their independence, in their self-preservation. They knew how ingrained that was in the culture of being an American. They needed to break that so that they could come in and control the American population. And there was a video. Oh, I can't remember which one, but this guy gave 4 incidents of things of how to take over a nation, and I can't remember all 4 of them. But he said, like, the first one would be the narrative or the news, control the news. Once we get that, that'll take about 3 to 5 years, but we can really, change minds that way. Then we wanted to go into destabilization. Well, destabilization is going to take about 5 to 10 years. And there was 2 other things. The total time it was going to take was like 40 years to change a generation.
Right.
Now, look at the people we have walking the streets of America today, intellectually, compared to what we had walking the streets in the 50s and the 60s. Would you say it's different?
Right. Yes.
Would you say that the people today are less intellectual with what's going on in this world than 50, 60 years ago?
Yeah.
That was all by design.
No, yeah, I believe that. 100%.
All by design.
Yep.
So,
wow. Okay, we have a question here for you from Wild.
Okay.
What does he feel about what is going on in Oklahoma in regards to the Bible being, quote, forced in all the classrooms?
Okay. My honest opinion on this is I think this is a play by, I'm going to just say white hats, good guys, whatever you want to say. Y'all can believe me or whatever. I'm just going to say how I feel. I believe this is a ploy by the white hats to expose the deep state. And what do I mean by that? What's happened over the last 3 years? We've had homosexuality, we've had gay, transgender, DEI, diverse, equity, inclusion. We've had all that forced on our children. Would you say that's true? Through the school system.
Yes.
Okay, so we know that that's a fact that has happened. We have drag queen story hour in our public schools. Okay, that's happened. How many people spoke out against that stuff? And if you did speak out against that stuff, were you silenced? Yes.
Yes.
I went to the school board meetings. I spoke up. I saw people get silenced. All right. So everybody's like, yeah, drag queen story hour is cool. Yes, let the kids decide at age of 4 what gender they want to be. Oh, yeah, this is good for the kids. Hang up a flag in that school. Do all that. Okay. But then once Louisiana came out and said, hey, we are going to mandate that the 10 Commandments be in the schools. Now, first off, y'all hear the word mandate? That is not a law.
Exactly.
They did not make it a law in Louisiana for the schools to do that. They said a mandate, which is basically a suggestion.
Right.
Okay. So they're going to go ahead and do that. And who's going to be the first people to throw a fit? All the people that put drag queen story hour in the schools. All the people that put diversity, equity, inclusion in the schools. All the people that push the trans stuff. These are the people that will be speaking out against that.
Yeah, the left. Yeah.
Yes. Which then you can say, oh, so you don't like this, but it's okay for all of us to do what you want us to do here.
Right.
It exposes them. It wakes the people up so that the people will be like, yeah, you guys are full of crap. Our kids shouldn't be exposed to either. It's school. You need arithmetic, English, whatever. Yeah, English.
Language arts, history, social studies,
math, writing. Put cursive writing back in this. Teach the kids the basics. Quit putting any ideology into the schools. That's how I think it's a trap. I think it's a trap.
But it will wake people up. I think it's a good one because it will wake people up. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually that's the primary reason why I started homeschooling. I saw the slippery slope. I saw what was going on in different states. And I said, well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen in Florida, I think I'm in the most freest state. Like I was like, okay, this is the South. I have Governor DeSantis, and I was like, oh, they're banning books and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let me ride this out. And then there was another school shooting in UV-Dale or whatever, and that was the last straw for me. I was like, you know what? I'm no longer going to leave it up to other people like the responsibility of raising your children, teaching your children. I'm no longer going to let that responsibility be on the Department of Education or the government, or like always depending on somebody else rather than yourself.
Correct.
And that's why I homeschooled. I took my 3 children out of public school. And you know, Florida has like these scholarships that you can apply for them. And I
Mhm.
said, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna take my kids out of school, because I will be damned if something like that happened in Florida and you don't know about it, because that's what these parents are upset about. Oh, I didn't agree to this, I didn't sign up for this. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, you know, it's inclusive, and you know, they're gonna start with their crap, and I'm not here for it.
Correct.
So I took everybody out of school, and I'm like, okay, now it's my responsibility. I can't blame anybody else.
Correct.
Or you know, I can't be angry and protest in the streets when it's my responsibility now, you know?
Exactly. And that's what people need to understand. They need to learn how to start taking personal responsibility for everything in their life and quit relying on government to raise our
Exactly.
kids.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
how many times have we heard the left say, "Oh, they want to take care of you from cradle to grave."
Mm-mm.
That's what they want. And I say
Mm-mm.
left, but there's the right. Well, we can talk about that later. We still
Yeah.
need to get to that point. But yes, the Department of Education was set up in 1979. I think it was 1979. And since the Department of Education was set up, the overall test scores for
Mm-hmm.
American students have been
Mm-hmm.
going downhill ever since.
Wow.
That's how you dumb down a nation. All right,
Mm-hmm.
let's compare it to Watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
Watchtower literature is written on a 5th grade reading level. They dumb people down.
Yup.
You dumb people down, you withhold information from them, they're easier to control. So
Yup.
why is it that after 89, 90, 40 some years, the Department of Education, you have somebody walking around on a college campus saying, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Student, who did we fight in the Revolutionary War? Korea?
Yeah, they don't know.
Who won World War One?
Right.
The Japanese?
They don't know.
They don't know these simple things. Why?
Yeah.
It was all
Exactly.
done by design.
Oh my God.
And I
That's
think it was,
crazy.
yeah, it's a bigger picture, isn't it, Ruby?
Yeah. No, and you know what? Ever since I took my kids out of school, their grades shot up.
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
learning things that I wasn't even like forcing them to learn. They would just get it. They would watch YouTube videos. They like I would just incorporate a subject, and they learned themselves. Like it was easy, and I was like having anxiety attacks because like, oh, I don't feel educated enough. I don't think I'm good enough. Like you always have that mentality, even leaving the JWs, because you always think you need somebody to tell you what's right or wrong,
Yep.
or like how to, like a structured curriculum, or like a structured routine, or like a schedule. And I didn't have any of that. It was just like I freelance everything in my life, and their grades shot up. They
Good.
know things and memorize things that I was like, wow, when I was your age, I wasn't learning about this stuff.
Well, they're not being distracted by an agenda,
Right.
and they're not being subjected to the social environment of bullying and things like that. They're not experiencing that. Now, some may say, well, maybe they should get bullied. Maybe they need to be out there in school so they can learn how to be social with their. Why?
Right.
People are just. Sometimes I like being around my animals more than people themselves.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like my grandkids, 4 of my grandkids are being homeschooled right now, and they're doing much
Nice.
better, and they're not getting bullied. I mean, one of my grandkids, he has autism, and he was getting bullied in school.
Really.
So my stepdaughter took him out of school, and he's doing so much better. He's a great little guy. So The school systems, yeah, they were designed to create workers, not thinkers.
Right. Exactly. People who just do what you say and they sit there for 8 hours a day doing paperwork or doing, a repetitive thing instead of actually learning and engaging and interacting with the subject.
You're
And you know
turning,
what?
you're,
No,
I was
no, go
just going to
ahead.
say, you're turning them into little robots,
Right.
just like
Exactly.
Watchtower is turning
Right.
everybody into little robots.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, exactly right. And my oldest son, he's about to be 10 years old in July now, and he also has autism. And that was the struggle. It's like you're a young mom, you're a teen mom, how I had him and everything. And I felt like I had to give him over to the professionals. Let them teach him, cuz that's how they want it. And then they make you feel like, "Oh, you need professionals. He needs this and this." And then I started seeing how it was going, and I was like, I don't think I like this. Let me try. Let me trust myself for once in my life, and let me take him out of school and let me do it my way. And that was the best decision ever. I think that's what we need to start promoting more is the parental rights, parental control, and more confidence in parents to teach their children. Like, work for yourself, teach your own kids, grow your own food. You know what I mean? Like, live off grid. And I'm learning that now.
I just and you should be commended for what you're doing. I'm proud of you for doing that. Stay on
Thank you.
that. You're doing an
Yeah.
awesome job. I just had a thought that just hit me.
Hmm.
And if I gave you a gift,
Hmm.
if I gave Ruby a
Hmm.
brand new car, air conditioned, power steering, I mean, I gave you the best car on the market. I gave that to you as a gift. What would you do with that car, Ruby?
I, I don't know. I would use it.
You would use it. You
Yeah, I
would
would
take
use it.
that. Would you let just anybody drive it if I gave it to you as a gift?
No.
No, that would be your car. Nobody
Right.
touches it, right?
Right. Exactly. Only me. Right.
God gives us our children as a gift.
Right.
Why are you going to let somebody else take care of your gift?
Wow. Wow. Yo, that's so true. That's crazy. Wow.
Just hit me.
You just, yeah, that just opened up my head. Yeah. Because I was, oh my God.
even
But you
if,
see that.
even
But that's
if
how they indoctrinate you to believe, like, oh, send your kids to school, go get a job, be
soc-
independent.
society tells you, Ruby,
Right,
you're not smart enough to
right,
raise this autistic child.
right,
That's what society tells you. But you've stood up and said, F y'all, F you. This is my gift. God gave this child with autism as a gift to me. It's my job to take care of that gift.
right. Very nice. Yeah, that's exactly right. Until
So,
until you wake up, until you take that red pill and you
mhm.
start thinking for yourself, it's like you have multiple awakenings. I've noticed. It's
Oh,
like, is
totally.
have you seen that movie with was it Leonardo, Inception, where he keeps waking up? Have you seen that movie?
I don't, I haven't seen Inception, if that's the title of it, but
Yeah,
I've seen the one where the guy took the pill that gave him all this energy or whatever.
that's
Uh,
another one. Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah,
That's a good one.
but I've seen something similar to that. I mean, of course, we've seen the Truman Show.
Right.
We've seen these things. So yeah, there is multiple awakenings. And I'm gonna tell you right now, as awake as I think I am, go
Hmm.
figure. There's still a lot of crap I don't know,
Right.
and I'm
Yeah.
excited to learn about. So
Mhm.
that's kind of cool because yeah, when you wake up from Watchtower and then you wake up from the political thing, me and John both has said it publicly in our videos. We woke up from one cult and realized we were in a bigger cult.
Right. Oh my God. No, Jimmy, you're gonna have to see the movie I'm talking about, because that's literally the movie Inception. I think it's with
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio. So
I'll
every
put
single
on.
time, yeah, write it down. I'll text it to you, because it's like every single time that he goes to sleep or something. I think that's like the plot of the movie. He
Right.
goes into several dreams, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper of a sleep. And then to tick him off, like to wake up, they have to like put him in water or something. And when they dose him with water, he wakes up into like the next level of Inception, until
Oh
he
wow.
reaches the final level of Inception, where he's fully awake. Like, this is reality. But in all
Right.
those other realities, it's not real. So if he gets shot or if he dies, he just wakes up to the next Inception. He doesn't really die in real life. So that's how, if we want, once you see that movie, we're gonna have to come back and discuss it, because
Okay.
that's how I feel. I felt like I kept waking up, and I was being dosed with something, like, because the awakening would just happen. Like, I never did research. I never doubted anything. I never like did that for myself. It would just happen to me. And I'm like,
Right.
why is this happening to me? And that's how I felt, like I was being dozed over. And then I was waking up to the next level of Inception. And then I kept going and going and going. And then that's when I started feeling depressed. Like, what is going on? Because you have all these awakenings and you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to
Yes.
deal with it. And I felt depressed. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I vote? Do I don't vote? Who do I believe? You know, like you go a little crazy, and you have to take time to sort that.
And there's a reason, and there's a reason why that's happening. And there's a reason why I put myself out there to help folks in that exact situation. Because from the sources I use, one of the intel boards said that you need to be there. You're learning all this now so you can be a help to others.
Right. Wow.
And that's why I took it seriously. I took an oath. For those that don't know, I took a digital soldier oath. I don't care. You can go ahead and laugh at me all you want. I don't care. But my oath says I'm going to do everything I can to bring information to people, to show them what's going on, to try to help them, to be a source of information to where if someone is struggling or depressed or having many awakenings, they can reach out to me and be like, Jimmy, can you tell me what's going on here? Can you tell me why I feel this way? And I'm there to help. Why? Because of that passion I have for helping folks that I didn't get fulfilled while I was in Watchtower. So am I on a mission? Yes, I'm on a mission. And I will be on this mission until the war is over. And which, if y'all don't know it, we've been in World War III since 2017, just by the way. Just me just throw that out there for you right now.
That's another episode right there. So we have future streams coming up, because you mentioned a lot of things that we have to deep dive into it. Because you know what's another good thing is that I am not in your generation. I am a complete different, like removed generation from you guys, from your generation.
Yeah,
and
there's
a lot of things that there's a lot of things that you've mentioned that I don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like, I was a little girl during those times. I just remember the motions, like the emotions, the tension that was happening in America at that time, because I was a kid. I was a child. Like I physically was there watching the Twin Towers fall down. Like, I was there in New York City. So those emotions for me ignited the patriotism. It was like, how could this country do this to us? War. And then you're a little girl agreeing with war mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how you've been exposed to things that you don't even understand at the time. But you grow up with that sense of like, I'm an American, somebody wronged me, like it was a terrorist attack, and you believe that for 20 something years. Like, I'm 28. So for 20 something years, I've believed a narrative since I was 5 years old, because I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And my father was a first responder rescuing people. He was NYPD SWAT team. Like, he was there. A lot of his friends died that day. So it's like we have that angle of like 9/11 was serious. Like that was a thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you wake up years later, and I'm an adult now, and I'm like, inside job? What? Dancing Israelis? What? And then you start watching these videos and seeing these theories, and I'm like, oh, stop. I was there. I saw the planes. What do you mean it's a hologram?
Yeah, it's kind of like a good example is what happened in Pearl Harbor. You know,
Right.
everybody thinks that that was a surprise attack by the Japanese,
Uh-huh.
but the president of the United States knew that it was happening. He knew it was going to take place.
I don't
So
even know
what?
about that.
Yeah. So once you dive down that rabbit hole and you realize, what do you mean that the president of the United States knew that
Know
the
about it.
Japanese were going to attack? Because they wanted the United States to get into the war, and they knew that the only way they could get the support of the American population to go to war would be like, we need to attack them. And then they'll get all
Right.
pissed off, and then they'll send all their people to war too. So that the
Oh
same
my God.
playbook they used there, they used it with 9/11. And I'm
You
telling you,
see?
it's getting
Mhm.
ready to happen again. There is going to
Stop.
be
What? Oh my
some
God.
type of attack. I don't know how it's going to be done. It could be a missile that's been sent off and it's on the news and it's on its way over from the Atlantic. Oh, and it got shot down. There could be a cyber attack. There is going
Right.
to be, I'm calling it right now. There's
Mm-hmm.
going to be some type of a terrorist attack in the United States before November.
Wow. You think so?
I
Nah,
really,
chill.
I really do. And I
You're
think,
killing
and I think that it's going to tie itself to the illegal immigration too.
me. Mm.
Because think about it. If,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now we're speculating, folks.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
there's an attack on the United States at the scale of, I don't think it'd be the scale of 9/11, but it's going to get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And it was caused by illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
What's the public going to say? Oh man, we need to close the border. We shouldn't let those people in. We need to shut down the border. We need to put up a wall. We can't let this happen again.
Right.
I think that's how it's going to play out. I wish
Mm-hmm.
it weren't the case,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been telling people that if they don't wake up, there's going to be more slaps in your face information wise to do it. People
Mm-hmm.
do not have the will to change until they are faced with the precipice of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Then and only then will they change. If
Yeah.
your sports team is doing good, or your actor's putting out a new movie, or Swifty is off doing this, and we're all focused on that stuff, then we're gonna dumb everybody down so that when we do our things over here, they won't notice.
Right. Yeah, a psyop. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I said
Mm-hmm.
before, all psyops
Mm-hmm.
aren't bad.
Oh Lord, that's what you said in the chat the other day.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh
All
my God.
psyops aren't bad. You can think about what me and you are doing. We are
Mm-hmm.
speaking out. We're using our voice. We are conducting a psyop, so to speak, on the folks that may not be awake yet. They may be awake and want more information. It's
Right.
a psychological operation. We're doing a
Right.
psychological operation to get people to think for the damn selves.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's more I can say about that, but I'll hold back.
Okay, no, that's your theory. That's a good theory. I have one. My theory is that you know exactly what happened to JFK. I took that assassination very personally when I was waking up to politics and stuff like that, and I've always felt that that was an inside job.
Right.
So it was like my brain couldn't really accept 9/11, but when it came to JFK, I was like, oh, they know who killed him, or
Oh
you
yeah.
know that was the government. I think that a similar thing might happen. 9/11 happened. 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 9/11 h with just like JFK. I think that they might try to assassinate a president or a former president.
Yes, and I'll go ahead and tell you right now that's already been done several times. There's already been. I mean, when Trump was in office,
Right.
there were several assassination attempts that the public didn't even know about.
Wow.
There were several. I can pull up the information. I don't have it with me right now, but I do know of two the public didn't even know about. We've also been told that don't be surprised when information comes out about some emails and some text between some corrupt politicians that talk about assassination.
What?
Yeah, it's out there.
Nah, chill. No, we're gonna have to do another stream about that because that's crazy. I've never heard of that.
You don't think that they've tried? You don't think they haven't tried to take somebody out already? You don't think they haven't tried?
I think so. But that's what I'm saying. That's my theory. My theory is that there is going to be a big enough attempt that that the public would be able to see. And then it will become real that like these people really don't want him to become president because they're trying to kill him. Like that's my theory.
So I did have another thing that popped up this week that gave me another angle to look at this. Yes, they might try that with Trump. And just remember, there are body doubles of pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
So if you see Trump shot, don't freak out because I don't think it's going to be the real Trump.
Right.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with Biden. But this is what I think they're going to probably do with Joe Biden in that sense. I think that the D's know that their poll numbers suck right now with Biden and Kamala. How do you get a sympathy vote? How do you get people to change their tone and you get a sympathy vote? Okay, well, let's have an attempted attack on the resident. He survives it, but there was an attack. And then don't they use MK Ultra to control people to do these types of attacks? Haven't we learned that about other assassins, Sirhan, and all these other people? So we know the media doesn't like MAGA. They can use MK Ultra, convince somebody to do something stupid, make it out as a MAGA supporter, and then blast it all over the news that this MAGA supporter tried to take out the resident.
Right.
That's another angle this movie could go. And like I said, this movie, we are watching a movie right now.
Yeah.
So that's another angle that could be taken. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's going to be more along the lines of the 25th Amendment, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yep. Joe and Fran says, how can we believe anything we see? That I agree with that. Like that's I struggle with that constantly. Like I don't even watch the news anymore. I just have the news through Twitter and through through people, word of mouth and stuff like that. Because I don't believe anything on the TV.
This is what I do. I look for patterns. I look for the same things that happened. I look for patterns. I look at different different things. For example, let's take the election of 2020. If some machines in Texas and Missouri and Louisiana, let me go back. If we seen some machines in Texas mess up and flip some votes, but we saw it nowhere else, would we say that that was just an incident in Texas and just blow it off? Yeah, all the machines aren't like that. It just happened in Texas. But if we seen the machines happen in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, California, if we seen all the machines do that, then our thinking should be, oh crap, there's something wrong with all the machines.
Yeah.
So I look for patterns. I look for precedents being set. That's another thing I look for. And that way, once I can identify the patterns, I can look back, connect everything, and then I'm not having to listen to someone tell me what to believe. I've done put it
Yeah.
all together. I can lay it out. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me I'm wrong. And I put
Yeah.
that challenge out to folks on my Facebook page. I've been putting out stuff since 2020. And I've had people come to me and say, "Damn, Jimmy, how'd you know that was going to happen?" Because I looked for patterns. And I've challenged people. I've challenged people to go back into my Facebook page, find something in there that I was completely off basis on, and bring it to my attention. No one's done that yet.
Right. I mean, because it's like you really don't know, but those predictions are good because you've seen the pattern. So it could go either way. But the fact that it keeps happening this one way is shocking. It's not like you could tell the future or like you're a psychic or whatever. It's that
I'm not.
It happens. History repeats itself, especially now with the internet. They can't hide nothing. So when we see those clips, when we see like the Sandy Hook parents laughing before he goes on the mic and he starts crying, and then they say, "Oh, he's an actor" or whatever. And then Alex Jones comes out with it, but then everybody wants to demonize him. It's like, yeah, but we saw the guy. He was giggling and laughing, and then 2 seconds later, he's crying because his child is just like, that doesn't make any sense. So it makes you question things.
And it's kind of like with the Watchtower and the governing body. Oh, the governing body is going to make some decisions that how's it go? The words go the proper that doesn't make sense in human reasoning or whatever they said.
Standpoint.
Yeah, it does. That's not going. Just listen to what we say, even if it doesn't make sense from a human standpoint.
Right.
What the? What?
Yup. Oh no, I can't.
And the media does that to everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I don't watch them.
So that's why Trump, and I will definitely stand behind the man on this. When he came out in 2015 and 2016 and told the world that's fake news.
Right.
He got attacked.
Yup. And they hated him for it.
Exactly. Now, since then, 8 years later, what have we learned? The news is effing fake.
Yup.
He didn't lie to you. You might have got upset because you mentally felt like the news was telling you the truth all this time. Just like Watchtower. You thought they were telling you the truth the whole damn time. But you fell for it. Again.
Yeah.
Break the cycle.
Gotta keep waking up. Yeah. You gotta keep waking up. Yeah. Wow. It's like you never stop taking the red pill. You never stop learning.
Oh, no.
You never. You just have to continue going forward, even if you don't like the answers, because I'm the type of person that I want the blue pill, but I can't take it. Like I'm forced to take the red one.
Ruby, I have gone around.
I want the blue one.
I have gone around several times, and I've said, man, I wish I didn't know some of this stuff. God. Because I walk around in public and run my errands and everything, and I feel like I'm walking around in the damn Matrix.
Exactly. And NPCs walking around you. They don't know a thing. They don't even know that you could be nuked at any moment. You don't know. And it's like it's scary. And I wish I could take that blue pill when everything was red roses and concerts and Justin Bieber. Like, I wish I could go back, and I'm like, I can't.
No, you can't. Anybody that has a truth in their soul that they've got to know, they can't take the blue pill. They can't. I want to as well, Ruby. I wish I'd just be able to just go to work, watch my Braves games, take care of my yard, go to rock concerts. I want to do all that and not think about the shit that's happening in this world. But I know that if it doesn't stop now, if we don't put a stop to it now, our generation of children and grandchildren are screwed.
Yeah, more than what we already are.
Exactly. And I want my grandchildren to know that I fought for their freedom.
Exactly. Yep, I'm
So
right there with you. I believe that because it's my generation that has to stand up. It's the
yes,
next generation that has to stand up and turn it around. That's why when I
but
see all these young men, I'm like, it's you guys, like it's our generation that has to stop like the narrative and start telling the truth, like Nick Fuentes, America First movements, and start putting us first because we are getting ransacked. And I'm like, I mean, I'm doing the best I can. Like as a woman, I could take my kids out of school and I could not have a job and give up that freedom so that I could sacrifice myself for my kids, because if I don't do this, the school system is going to corrupt their minds.
yep,
So I'm doing what I can. And then it's like their father doesn't have a choice, has to go to work, but become self-employed, make enough money so that you don't have to have a boss and get told what to do. Like try to make enough money, try to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go to the protest, vote. Like stop thinking and like this the black pill, oh, it doesn't matter, they're gonna
yeah,
vote whoever they want, they're gonna install. And I'm like, no, stop it. We need to start doing this because it's my generation that has to turn it around, because the next generation, if we don't stop now, a dictator will arise and we will
correct.
not have a democracy. So if you really want to save America, and saving America means saving the world, because we police the world. So if
If
we
you
fall, the world falls.
absolutely, absolutely. Why do you think that they have done what they've done to the people of Australia? They've taken their weapons, they put them in little camps during the pandemic time. What
Right.
what what about in Canada? Took their weapons. England, they took their weapons. They've pushed social programs. All these other little countries, they try out their plan there first to see what they can
Mhm.
get away with. Because why? Those countries do not have the U.S. Constitution.
Exactly.
So they're
Exactly.
trying to make their world look like utopia. I've heard people say, oh, it would be great if we had a socialized medicine here in the United States, and it'd be great. Oh, so you want someone else telling you when you can get treatment? Okay, that makes a lot of freaking sense. But they
Yeah, and they
try
don't
to,
have guns. They don't have
yeah,
guns over there.
yeah. What's the first thing? And unfortunately, this is a dark point in America's history. And if you're going to talk about American history, you got to talk about all the dark stuff too. It's pretty sad what they did with the Indians, because they took their guns first too.
Hmm.
Once you give
Yeah,
up your weapons, you can't fight.
exactly.
The
You
United
will
States,
get conquered.
the United States of America was founded on citizens that had weapons and were treasonous to the British Empire.
Yes, exactly. I know that's just the truth. Sorry, but that's what it is.
So what these people are trying to do is they wanted to ruin the United States Constitution. And they've done it over and over again by putting these little rules, using this agency to put this rule in, which that was taken care of at the Supreme Court decision with the Chevron deference, showing that these three-letter agencies are all unconstitutional and they can't make laws.
There you go.
So
Exactly. Yes.
that's that was that
Yo,
was a good
thank God.
plan.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I have been moving in the political spectrum from pro-choice and like left-winging, and I have been moving so fast to the far right, because I am like an abolitionist now. I want to abolish those agencies. I want to abolish the
Yes,
reserve. I want to abolish those things and literally live by the Constitution. Like I am such an
yes,
America First constitutionalist
yes,
that we can exist without those things, because how many other presidents have we had all of our history and we didn't have those things in place? So we
yes.
don't need them.
The last true president that we had who was under the original Constitution
Mhm.
was Ulysses S. Grant. And
Wow.
unfortunately, he is the president that allowed the Act of 1871 to take place, which turned the American people from free citizens to debt slaves. We came off
Really?
the original Constitution back in 1871. So we have not been, we've not had our original representation that the founders envisioned since 1871. That's why you have the Federal Reserve that came in 1913. That's
Yep.
why you have the IRS come in right behind them. You had these organizations that were making laws, and notice they span some generations. The deep state works slowly; they work really methodically,
Right.
so
Yes.
that people don't notice. And
Right.
they have been ripping away at the Constitution since then.
Since
Now,
then. Yep.
if little Miss Hillary Clinton would have been elected in 2016, the America you have today wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Because if you look back, and I did an episode on it, it's called the 16-year plan to destroy America. And I showed out the points that the first 8 years were Obama, the second 8 years was supposed to be Hillary. And one of the things that was supposed to happen under Hillary's watch was we were supposed to get into a war with North Korea. Now, if you remember back in 2014, 2015, 2016, what was the narrative that the media was pushing? Oh, Kim Jong-un is crazy. He's going to shoot these rockets off. Oh, Trump came out and called him Little Rocket Man. So that was the narrative being built so that when Hillary got in, it would have been no surprise to the American people that North Korea shot off missiles to the United States. And then when they did that, oh, we're going to have to retaliate because, oh, this is kind of what they did at Pearl Harbor. So we're going to have to go to war. And it was going to be a controlled war. The United States was set to lose that war. And when a country loses a war, what do they lose? Their Constitution.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a crazy scenario. But Trump actually he said that. He said that when they were, transitioning the power, the conversation that he had with Obama was he was like, your number one threat is North Korea. And Trump didn't take that advice. And so he did a Uno reverse card and he was doing his own thing. Like a new president should. That's the thing with Trump is that I wish he had the same fire and spite that he did in 2016, because I feel like he started listening to other people when he really should have not. And then Mike Pence didn't do his job in 2020 to do the recount and to not leave the White House until that was done. And I'm watching it in real time, and I was so angry that when the whole march was happening, like J6 and everything, there in spirit. I couldn't go in person, but I was there in spirit because I was so damn angry about what was happening.
Ruby, I was there.
I know. That's why I love you, because I'm like, yo, you're a legend. You're a legend, bro. I'm like, yo, this dude, he is not a joke. He's this guy is so real that he was actually there. Oh my God.
I was there. Thank you, Ruby. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was there. I didn't go into the Capitol. I actually have video proof showing exactly how far I got. Okay. But what a wonderful day up until that moment. There was just it was cold as crap. My toes, I felt my toes are about to fall off. It was very cold that day, but it was amazing. I mean, you literally had a sea of people that I've never been in a crowd. I've been to rock concerts and I've been in mosh pits and crowd surfed and stuff, but I've never seen that many people in one place in my life.
Right. Yeah.
And let's just say this. If the Patriots, like the media wanted to portray, if we wanted to take over Washington, D.C. that day, it would have happened.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen, if these people were really about that life, they would have taken over. And that's why I feel it's a psyop. It's fake. All of it was fake, because I'm like, listen, and we got guns. Okay. Americans have guns. So please don't try to gaslight me into thinking that, oh, this was an insurrection or whatever. I'm like, bro, if that was really what was going on, y'all wouldn't be talking about it right now.
No, yeah. So that whole thing, I witnessed everything. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the Capitol Police open the barriers. I saw people climbing the wall. I saw the tear. Now, granted, this is what happened, and a lot of people don't know about this. Trump was scheduled to speak at like 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Trump was late, like an hour and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When the beginning of the crap popping off at the Capitol happened, Trump was still speaking, and all of us were still listening to Trump speak. We didn't start marching until he was done.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got up there,
Mm-hmm.
I saw some Capitol Police moving some barriers. I saw the remnants of the smoke bombs, the tear gas or whatever was popped off. I heard while we were walking up there that they found a bomb next to the Democratic office. We started getting reports through the line as we were moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got there, I told the girls I was with, Cher Andrews and my buddy Beth Schmidt, I said, you ladies stay here. I'm going to go check what's happening. Don't move. I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And I left. I went through the Capitol grounds, went up there, started checking everything out. And I'm like, yeah, something's not right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started talking with some people and we started figuring out what was going on. That night on my YouTube channel, I went live and I broke the story that night. I told the truth about what happened. And I did interviews with people who told the truth of what happened that night. So as soon as the media started reporting everything that night and weeks on after, I knew it was already all bullcrap. So when they came out and did the unselect committee, they did all their hearings. I'm like, that's a dog and pony show. None of that crap is right. I knew it already.
Right.
So
wow.
If you still believe that January 6th was just some spontaneous thing done by the MAGA patriots, I'm here to tell you, you are sadly mistaken and you need to do some more research on it. Go watch my video.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do that because wow, yeah, that's amazing. I have a whole bunch of other like Twitter mutuals that were there as well. So it was so many of my mutuals, like my timeline was on fire on Twitter. You know, those were the good old days. And a lot of those people were influencers as well, like political commenters and influencers, MAGA rappers, like a lot of people that were there, and they got listed, like they were on the FBI list, like it got that bad, and a lot of other people got arrested. Some people committed suicide. Like it was so bad that I felt bad. Like, wow, look how much power the government can have, like literal political prisoners, and can ruin your life.
Yes.
Over what you're fighting for is liberty. That's what you're fighting for. You're fighting for liberty because you should have the freedom to question your government, to protest your government, to not agree with certain things, even if you do have a democracy and you voted this person in or out. But you see, there's something that I shared on Twitter that said, the meme said, the reality that you want, it doesn't come, like it comes with like brute violence. It comes with violence. Like, how do you think we got here? Like you said, it was because of treasonous founding fathers that risked everything, their fortunes, their lives, like literally everything, because they would have been hung if they got it wrong. You know, like they would have been dead. So if you think like I want to make radical change or whatever, what do you think that's going to take? You think you could vote your way out of this? Like, if things don't change, like I said before, the dictator's coming. Like the day will come when we're not going to have these freedoms. So we have to fight 10 times harder for them, because that's what they're trying to take away from you. Like you said, take away your weapons. That's how you get conquered. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. So even though I disagree with Trump on like certain things, I just feel like sincerely that he's the only guy right now that can make subtle changes, because we're already in the mud, in my opinion. But I think that he can make those changes just enough until we get the right guy, because I believe the right guy is still coming.
Okay. There's one thing I'll say about this and about the Revolutionary War that we can be thankful for. The Revolutionary War was fought with bullets. People died. Their blood was spilled. They lost everything. Houses set on fire. Children murdered. They lost a lot of stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they still fought for the country, the birth of the nation, because they believed that much in liberty and freedom.
Right.
We can be thankful. Yes. Are we in a second American Revolution? Yes, we are. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we can be thankful that it's not a shooting war.
Right.
And it was set up this way behind the scenes. There's more to it. Mm-hmm. But we can be thankful that this is an information war. Right. You think about it. Those who control the information control the world.
Yep.
Those who control the information can manipulate the masses. Watchtower, the media, our governments. Okay.
Right.
So how do you combat that brainwashing? You use a psyop to undo it.
Yep.
And you fight them, you fight fire with fire. That's why when the media comes out with a story, the digital soldiers now are debunking that crap within 3 to 4 hours.
Right. And community notes on Twitter. And
yes.
Elon is like, you can't lie on this platform anymore. That was the best thing he could have done. Yep.
Yeah. So what would have taken 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to break a story to get the true information, it's now taking us less than a day.
Right. Oh my God.
And if people would understand that, recognize that pattern, and they're armed with information, and we spread that around, we can change our local governments. We can change our state governments. We can change the federal government, because the Constitution was not written as laws for us as citizens. Right. The Constitution was written by citizens to hold the government accountable to us.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So, when it comes to voting, all right, let me put the cigarette out because I'm about ready to go on a little rant again. So, when it comes to this right versus left thing, it took me a while to work this out, but I've done it. Mm-hmm. You've got to get to the point where it's not right versus left anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is used and has been used to divide people.
Right.
Now, granted, like you said, for you to vote for Trump, you have to register Republican, do all that, blah, blah, blah. There's a system. There's there's a constitutional system set up for us to have our voices heard. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that's legit. Mm-hmm. But what people don't realize is the Democratic Party was infiltrated by the deep state globalists first. Mm-hmm. Then they realized how successful they were with that. And now let's go ahead and infiltrate the Republican Party too. So the deep state has what they call rhinos, Republicans in names only, they'll say they're all for the Republican platform. We're all for this. But when it comes right down to it and you hold the freaking feet to the fire, they will vote Democrat every time.
Yeah.
That's why when people have gone to the polls, yes, you have been fooled at the polls for a while now, because they have selected who they are going to put in place. Mm-hmm. And they made sure they knew what was going to happen because they had everything rigged.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at, and now here's a red pill for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me if you want, but this is what I have found. What narrative was being pushed by celebrities, folks on the left, some folks on the right, about Trump becoming president in 2015 and 2016? What were they saying?
Oh, he would never become president in his dreams.
Exactly. That's what they were saying. That's what they were pushing out there. All the polls showed Hillary Clinton leading.
Right.
That was
right.
that was a narrative push because they knew they had everything rigged for Hillary.
Right.
Here's the red pill.
Mm-hmm.
The military unrigged the 2016 election so it would run the way it was supposed to run.
Mm.
That's why Hillary got so pissed off. That's why the Democrats lost their damn minds. That's why all these politicians started doing the attacking. That's why Antifa was called on to riot in Washington, D.C. after the election, because they never thought she would lose.
Wow.
That is when the script was flipped. Now, 2020, 2022, I'll just say, yes, they were rigged, but however, it was designed in a way to wake people up. So there's more I can talk about on that, but
wow, that's another episode. How many times have I said that? Like 4 or 5 times? Because we got to come back to go in deep into that, because I don't know about anything about that either. That's the first time that I
what people need to look at, instead of going right versus left, we are in a spiritual war. It's good versus evil.
Mm-hmm,
and you need to drop your emotions, drop the Republican versus D, and look what people stand for. And if they flip-flop on something, you know they're no good, unless they give a good reason why they change their mind on something. Okay? Because people can change their minds on things. That's okay.
Right.
But if you continually flip-flop from one stance to another, then, yeah, there's a problem there. So you need to look for a person that is going to stand up for the Constitution, stand up for your voice, stand up for your children's voice, and someone that wants peace and doesn't want war. And we know that you have the military industrial complex. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, not just in the United States, but in other countries too, that make millions of dollars off of war.
Yeah.
So if they're pushing war, then they're no good for you.
Right.
Simply put.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm America first. We shouldn't be giving money to Israel, to Ukraine, to NATO. I want to abolish NATO. Like I'm so I am so America first that and they consider that to be far right. And I'm like, that's just American. Like those are just American values.
Do you know that one of the principles that the American presidents had up until 1871 is they didn't want to get involved. They were like Gen X back then. Just leave us alone. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to hang out with our crew. Y'all do whatever you're going to do. Don't get us involved.
Right.
That's how America was. We didn't want to be involved in everybody else's crap.
Yeah.
But, you wake up Gen X and then you got a problem because now we just want to be left alone. Now you got to deal with us. So that's, it's kind of.
Wow, Jimmy. I want to thank you so much for coming with me, for spending time with me tonight on this stream. I did not expect any of this. Like this was so spontaneous. Like I don't even know what just happened. Like I'm going to have to watch this stream over like a few times to see everything we said.
Was there anything in the I mean, I'm welcome to stay. I mean, my phone's at 54%, so I'm still good. So, I mean, but if you have to go, you have to go. But I can be here for the long game.
I will stay as long as until my husband gets home, because then I have to start cooking. But we can go back to these comments that I have missed. So here goes Monica, and she posted this around 9:55. So I am so sorry. We're gonna catch up to the comments.
Okay.
Monica says, "Hello, y'all. Y'all can confirm what Jimmy is saying. I'm studying language arts for secondary education, and based on my books, curriculum is biased, not neutral, and is all based on what the government wants our kiddos to learn."
Yep. I can confirm that. That's totally true.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Beverly
100%.
says, yep. Okay, Beverly says, universities don't want students to have their own opinions. They want students to follow their agendas. Fact.
Yes, 100%. Universities are evil as crap too.
Yeah.
They get paid off. They get paid off.
Right. Yep. Okay. Jennifer says, I have watched Buck Angel's channel with D-Trans. Really sad stories. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Neither am I, so I'm gonna have to look that up. So I will come back to you, Jennifer. Charles Wilson says, all my 4 children are homeschooled now. I felt the way you did at first, but now I know that was the best choice. I feel like I am having multiple. Okay, hold on. And then the next comment says, all my kids are homeschooled now. I feel as I've been having multiple awakenings also. Okay.
Yes, that's going to happen. See, there's different levels. There's different levels.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer says, my 9-year-old son has autism. I didn't agree with some of the stuff they wanted him to do. Yeah, me too. Okay, Charles says, oh, go ahead.
If you guys are watching, like I said, I can't see the comments, but if you have any questions real quick that you want to throw out there to ask, ask me about anything. I'll give you my opinion on it. You can look it up. There's a certain letter of the alphabet that we haven't talked about. I didn't know if Ruby wanted to ask a few questions about that.
I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time, but we can definitely do a part 2, and that can be like a focus. Okay. Let's see. Javier says, lies destroy everything. Love is truth. Jesus is our example of how we should treat each other, not men of Watchtower Society, and that's 100% truth.
I agree with that, and I want to add to that. When I did my very first video, it was my coming out video to the XJW community in June of 2019 with John. John asked me, he says, well, Jimmy, what's your belief now? Because when you wake up from Watchtower, you don't know what to believe. You know, you're just like, oh my God, is there a God? Is there what? I don't know what to believe anymore. And so, and I told John this, and it's on record. I said, I'm going to live my life, whether he was real or not. Some people will have that discussion, but I'm going to live my life like Jesus said, love your God and love your neighbor. You do those 2 things, your life will be fine. So I may not ascribe to any religion, and I will never ascribe to any religion because I think religion was designed to keep us all divided as well. I have a spiritual sense of things. I believe in a creator. I love God's creations, and I'm going to do everything I can to show love to my neighbor. Even though I may disagree with you and I might not like what you say, but I will respect the fact that you have the right to say it. Right. So, yeah. Love your God, love your neighbor, do it like Jesus did. You'll be fine. So I like that comment. Yeah, that was a good response. Okay, Wild says, Jimmy is like a real life version of V for Vendetta. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have to watch that movie. I have not seen it. You haven't seen it yet? I haven't. You need to go see that. You need to watch it this week. V for Vendetta. I'll watch Inception this week. Yeah, and I'll watch Vendetta. You watch V for Vendetta. Because there's a part in V for Vendetta where it says, "Remember, remember the 5th of November." When's the election this year?
Yeah, November 5th. Oh my God, that's such a conspiracy. Oh my God.
But you got to remember, they tell you what they're going to do in the movies.
Yes. What is that called? Programming?
Predictive programming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's also stuff that the white hats have put in movies too.
Right.
Speaking of that, you remember I was telling you how when you wake up, you start thinking of things that you experience and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. And you don't think about it, right? There was a show back in like 2012 to 2014. It only ran for like 2 or 3 seasons. And it was called Revolution. And I think it was on NBC. And there was a scene in that movie, and I've tried to find it on YouTube, but there's a scene where one of the main characters is walking through one of the busted up cities, and on bugs. And in the dirt, he picks up a book, and the title of the book was "The Last President, Joe Biden."
Stop it.
Dead serious. Freaking serious.
Oh my God.
And then like the next year that show was canceled. But it was in there. And I swear I gotta find that again so I can prove it. But yeah,
you're gonna have to find that.
Yeah, The Last President, Joe Biden. So that's a whole nother that's a whole that goes back to the corporation, the uncorporation, all that stuff. So
yep. Okay, Wild says, a wall that can keep people out, but can also be used to hold others in.
In reference to?
The border wall, when you said, I think that they're going to use this as an excuse, the immigration and the distraction. And they're going to say, let's put up a wall. And so that's what Wild is saying, that the wall can also be used to keep people in.
I can see where they're coming from. My opinion on that is if the wrong people were to have the power, it could be used in a negative way, like Wild is saying.
Right.
I just don't see that happening. See, I always look for the positive in everything. People look at me like, Jimmy, how can you be so optimistic about things? Because I see the patterns. I know what's going. I can call stuff. And so I see the border wall as, I'm not against immigration if it's done legally. Right. But to have people coming over that are bringing fentanyl, that are killing millions of us American citizens. Yeah. We have human traffickers coming over, saying that, hey, this kid's mine, when in actuality, that kid doesn't know who the hell the person is.
Right.
During Trump's presidency, they talked about, Trump separated kids from their parents. How do you know that person is that kid's parent? You don't. So during the Trump administration, DNA tests were being done at the border to prove if these kids were related to these people, these adults.
Right. Good.
When Biden came to office, that was taken away.
Right. Exactly.
That's a red pill. That's true. It happened.
Yep. Okay. Jay says a distraction is likely to happen around election time, in my opinion.
Oh, totally. Yes. There's going to be several.
Yep.
There's going to be several.
Yep. Okay. Javier says, you might say everything is a lie until you wake up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
John Marciano says, question, how did Obama survive? Oh, okay. That was in reference to when I was saying that they might do an assassination attempt or something like that. So he's asking you, when you were talking about Trump, I think it was, you said, that there was 2 that wasn't well known. And then John commented and he said, how did Obama survive?
The reason why Obama survived the way he did, and why Bush survived the way he did, and why Clinton survived the way he did, is because the deep state was in complete control of everything. The media, the governments, their whole thing. It was all, they were in complete control. And people do not realize how close the United States has come to falling.
Right.
And being non-existent. I'll tell you guys this, and I'll touch on it when we start talking about the 17th letter of the alphabet. I don't know if you folks know, but in 2012, the United States military was going to go in and remove President Obama from office forcefully. There was going to be a coup. They chose, after speaking with Donald Trump, that was not the way to do it. Because if there was a coup during the Obama administration, how do you think the public optics would have looked?
Yeah,
it would have looked horrible. People like, why is this happening? Why is the military taking out Obama? Oh, our precious Obama. Why are they taking him out? You could hear it now. This country would have been ripped apart at the seams if that would have happened. So instead, the Patriots, the white hats, the good guys, not just in the United States, decided to take the long road and decided that we need to wake the people up so that they will know what happened and that they will take back their country and they will demand justice be served on these traitors. That's where we're at right now.
But I think I agree, but wouldn't you say the same argument coming back to the JFK? Like, that's how I feel, is that they took him out and then that was the coup. And then he got that he got that pity vote for his VP. That's how I also feel. Like everything that you just described, I also feel like it could also fit a little bit into that narrative as well, because they took Kennedy out for whatever reason, and then they installed who they really wanted. And that was the way to kind of like, to the optics, to kind of make it look like he was assassinated and not taken out, like by the government.
Yeah. If you look the way that they used things back then, they used their assassinations. They literally killed people. And to put their message across. You go back to Reagan. When Reagan was talking a little bit like Kennedy was, what did they do? They shot at Reagan. Okay. Then Reagan decided, okay, well, I love Reagan. I mean, he was the president of the 80s when I was growing up and everything. I liked Reagan. But I didn't know that Reagan did a lot of great things, but he didn't stand up to the deep state the way he could have if he would have had the backing. He had to basically, and if you think about who his vice president was, who was it? George Bush. Member of
Senior?
Skull. Yeah.
Senior? Okay.
Yeah, George Bush Senior.
Wow.
One of the heads of the CIA. Member of Skull and Bones. Was involved in the JFK was involved in the JFK assassination. So they put Senior in to basically keep an eye on Reagan.
Wow.
That we can handle Reagan the way we need to handle him. And the way they do it is like they've switched all these years. Like, well, we're going to do 8 years Republican. Well, now we need to let the people know they have a choice. So now let's put a Democrat in. Let's alternate it.
Right.
So the people think they have a choice.
Illusion of choice.
Exactly. That's what they've done.
Oh my God.
Until Trump came on the scene.
Right.
And changed everything. And changed everything.
I believe that. Yeah.
Which we can talk about that at another time, but
yeah,
there's a lot. I can talk for hours about this stuff, Ruby.
We're gonna have to break it up into 1 hour segments, and it's gonna be the Ruby Quinn and Jimmy show, late night show of American history and politics, because you're educating me at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I don't know these things. I'm too young. So this is really good.
And see, and that's what we got to do. We as a people, we've got to be the ones to know our history so that we can be in control of it, so that we can tell our grandkids, our kids, hey, this is what really happened. I'm telling you, this is how it happened, because that way, if 100 years from now, the deep state tries to rear its head again or tries to come up again, people will be able to identify how they did it and what they did and be like, no, y'all remember back in 2020?
Yeah.
We're not going down that road.
Yeah. And Trump learned his lesson because he was running on, I'm gonna clean up the deep state. Hillary should be in jail, yada yada, and he didn't do it. So that's
That you know of.
Okay, fair to say that I felt as if I didn't see him do that enough, and I felt like he learned his lesson. He's gonna come back with that retribution. He needs his vengeance or whatever, and I feel like that's why he's running again and stuff like that.
Let me give you a thing that'll just put this in your cap and leave it there for a second. Some of the people that you think are dead are actually alive.
I've heard stuff like that.
And some of the people that you think that are alive right now, they're actually dead.
Okay.
Seriously.
That's for the conspiracy thing. We have to do a conspiracy theory, because that's really is conspiracy. That's gonna dive into the conspiracy realm.
Now, I do want to address the word conspiracy real quick, because I try to put this out everywhere I talk.
Okay.
When Watchtower doesn't want someone talking about the truth about the Watchtower, what do they call them? An apostate.
Right.
In the people's minds that are in Watchtower, when they hear the word apostate, what do they think? That person's crazy. I can't trust anything that he says. Oh my God, he's out there.
Right.
Conspiracy theory, calling somebody a conspiracy theory is the same thing. Because when you hear when someone's called a conspiracy theorist, people are told in their head, in their mind control, in their programming that that person's crazy. I'm not going to listen to him because he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, he's an apostate. Hell, I'm both. So go figure. It's the same thing. Now, are there conspiracies out there? Things that really people are trying to do? Yes, there are conspiracies. But some of them are real and true. And they're not just a theory. Hello? Ruby, you there? Uh-oh. I've lost Ruby. Ruby froze up. Hello? Mine's still working. Oh. Well, hello, everyone. It's just me now, and I can't see anything in the chat. I don't know what happened to Ruby. She get kicked off her own platform? Well, I guess I'll just sit here and wait. I don't know what happened. Yeah, she's gone. Maybe if I hit this, I wonder if I hit this chat button, can I see anything? Nope. Can't see anything if I hit that chat button. All right. Hey guys, I've really enjoyed talking with all of you tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Seriously, if you have questions, you guys can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. You can send me an email. My email is chiper208@yahoo.com. Ruby, you're back. What happened to you?
What just happened?
I don't know. You got kicked off.
Okay.
This
is crazy. What? No, this is crazy. I have excellent internet service. The internet did not go out, but the stream kicked me out as soon as we started talking about conspiracy stuff.
Exactly. Of course, they're watching us.
Stop it.
Ruby.
No, I'm freaked out right now.
Yeah, the stream was still going because I was looking at the live
Yeah.
timer.
Yeah.
I was still in the stream. I was still here. I couldn't see anything going on because I can't see the chat, of course. So I was just like winging it.
Wow, Jimmy.
Well, let's put it this way. I've actually had 2 strikes on my YouTube channel. I've got 188 Facebook violations. They've all this in the last 4 years. They nuked my original Facebook account, and Rick said on 6 screens that he couldn't have the big picture on there anymore because he kept getting strikes on his channel. So apparently people don't like what I have to say. So
stop it. Yeah, we're gonna have to use code words or something. We're gonna have to make a list or something because
I've learned how to do that a little bit.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And I was kicked out here and the whole computer shut down for me, like literally went black for me. And I had to get up and check my modem and it says excellent reception. So I come back to the computer and I'm like, refresh, nothing. I had to disconnect, reconnect, and I'm in a black screen. I'm screaming here like, how dare you do this to me? And I'm looking at the camera like, I know you're watching me right now. Whoever is my agent, whoever Fed is watching me right now. Stop it.
Yeah, the censorship is going to get worse. And do not be surprised, folks, if there is some type of communication blackout. If that happens, do not be fearful. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen over the next 6 months. But you do not live in fear because that's what they use they feed off that energy. I'll say this, and y'all can believe it or not, whichever. But the Patriots are in control. Everything you're seeing right now is a movie. It's scripted to wake people up. And are there going to be some twists and turns? You think about it, when you're watching a movie, Ruby, if me and you are watching a movie and we're halfway through it, you think we're nudging each other saying, hey, what do you think's going to happen? I think this is going to happen. Right. I think this, that's what you do during a movie, right?
Yes, yes.
And then when you get to the end of the movie, you're like, oh man, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Mark it down. Yeah. I said it. I'll stand by it. Yeah. There's going to be some crazy crap in the next 6 months.
Oh my God.
Crazier than you've seen already. And remember, if I would have came out in public in 2019, or hell, if I would have done it in 2018 and said, hey guys, y'all know what? In 2020, they're going to lock down the United States. Hell, they're going to lock down the world. There's going to be this crazy virus going around. Everybody's going to have to wear a mask. You're going to have to shut your business down. Kids aren't going to be able to go to prom. And man, then they're going to introduce, the thing.
Yeah.
if I would have said that stuff in 2018 and 2019, what would people have thought of me?
Yeah.
Jimmy, you are absolutely lost your damn mind.
Right.
Folks, it's 2018, 2019. I'm telling you stuff now.
Wow.
So it's gonna,
God,
that's why I'm not even worried. I am not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not fretful over anything. Oh, do I want to dollar? Oh, the dollar fell. Oh, nice. I saw that one coming. Oh, that's gonna happen. Excellent. It's like when this thing came out with the Constitution, with the presidential immunity thing. Do you know that everything that came out with the presidential immunity case by the Supreme Court was nothing new?
I know.
It already existed, but now people understand
right
what had already existed. They actually know what it means now. So
right.
you just got a lesson in the Constitution and you didn't even know it.
Right, but I knew that before this stuff happened. So when I saw
Good.
and I saw your video that you did on it, because I was like, oh, Jimmy gonna come out with a banger, because I'm like, these people, they're so uneducated that they
Yes.
don't know that this is a thing. But since I'm homeschooling, I'm also teaching myself and my kids how the government works, and I'm teaching this. And there's grown adults that don't even know this, but we
Yes.
know this. We know this.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, there's buckle up, folks. It's going to get crazy and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's just say
Yeah.
good things are happening. You may not believe it, but you have to walk through the darkness before you get to the light.
Exactly. Wow, Jimmy, man,
So
thank you so much for coming.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
me
you're welcome.
too.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had fun tonight.
I had fun, and I just got scared straight right now when I got kicked off my thing, because my computer went black, Jimmy. The whole thing went black, like it shut down. Oh my God, I'm scared right now. But you know what? Yeah, I'm not scared, actually. I'm not afraid. I don't care. We're gonna do this again, and I want to thank you for coming and spending time with me. I think actually Vern is going live now, so everybody's gonna hop over there and do his own thing over there. But wow, we spent 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me. I completely enjoyed it. And yeah, come up with what you want to discuss next time. And we'll have that conversation.
Wow. Yes. Oh my God. All right, guys. Bye, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for
Thanks,
coming.
Ruby. Thank you, everybody.
Insane.
Good
Okay.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.